At the same time, NPR and PBS have increasingly become radical left-wing echo chambers.
Ms. Greene has actually said some really negative things about getting vaccinations, and that perhaps is why we are here. And so we support Big Bird being pro-vaccine and promoting vaccines across this country. Now, I will admit, though, the extreme liberal agenda that you're all pushing, I think, doesn't stop there. Ms. Kerger, an important question. Are Bert and Ernie part of an extreme homosexual agenda?
MAGA Republican troll Marjorie Taylor Greene just crawled out from under the bridge she usually pesters passersby from, only to ironically get utterly humiliated in the latest Democratic troll of Republican incompetence and stupidity on the House floor. And yet again, folks, I don't really know how to feel about this. Not the trolling from Democratic Representative Robert Garcia of California that I have coming up for you in this clip. No, as we'll see, that portion is brilliant, hilarious, and a fine example of mockery that exposes just how insane Republicans and their radical right agenda is. But what I am conflicted about here is what made this mockery even necessary in the first place.
Good morning. At the DOGE subcommittee, we are continuing our war on waste. That means rooting out spending that is unnecessary, wasteful, and frankly, un-American. NPR and PBS are the big DC-based entities that create and distribute much of the news and educational content heard and seen on public radio and TV stations across the country. PBS News posted the clip, called it a fascist Nazi salute, and described how it was similar to the same Heil used by Nazis at their victory rallies. Not once did PBS or NPR report on the numerous accounts of Democrats making the same gesture.
Yeah, that context makes this trolling that we're about to see that much better, but this is real. Why, you might ask, are we wasting taxpayer dollars on going after PBS and NPR instead of, I don't know, maybe opening up those Epstein Islander folders to really help Americans? Oh, wait, that's why. With Greene opening Wednesday's DOGE subcommittee by branding PBS and NPR as radical left-wing echo chambers before accusing the public broadcasters of, quote, grooming and children. Thankfully, Democratic Representative Robert Garcia here put Marjorie Taylor Greene down in the best way by making an utter mockery of her on the House floor. Check this out.
I now recognize Mr. Garcia from California for 5 minutes.
Well, thank you, Madam Chairwoman. I want to first begin by thanking all of our witnesses that are here today. I know that there's a lot we should be discussing right now at this hearing. We've, of course, had some pretty shocking security breaches that we're just learning about through a lot of our national security officials. We know that Pete Hegseth should be removed from office or should resign. We have Donald Trump, who, of course, is crashing the stock market. He's taken away millions of programs and hurting people across this country to fund tax giveaways to billionaires. And our constituents can't access their Social Security benefits. Now, I think actually Chairwoman Greene supports everything that the Trump administration is actually doing. So instead of a serious hearing, we're here to attack NPR and PBS. So let's get right into it. Now, Ms. Kerger, the American people want to know, is Elmo now, or has he ever been, a member of the Communist Party of the United States? A yes or no?
No.
Now, are you sure, Ms. Kerger? Because he's obviously red.
Well, he is a puppet, but no.
Now, that's not all. He also has a very dangerous message about sharing and helping each other. He's indoctrinating our kids that sharing is caring. Now, maybe he's part of a major socialist plot, and maybe that's why the Chairwoman is having this hearing today. But let's talk about somebody else. Let's talk about Cookie Monster. Now, we know that Health Secretary RFK Jr. is coming out against fast food and baked goods. Are we silencing pro-cookie voters, yes or no? Ms. Kerger.
But cookies are a sometime food.
Well, thank you. And now, I agree with you, and let's also talk about the most important, maybe, character on Sesame Street. This is actually Big Bird. Now, Ms. Kerger, since Elon Musk actually fired USDA workers who have been working on the bird flu, does it make sense to also fire Big Bird? Yes or no?
We would like to keep Big Bird.
I completely agree with you. And now it gets even worse. Now, this is actually a tweet that Big Bird actually sent out about the COVID-19 vaccine encouraging folks to actually get their vaccination, which of course we believe in vaccines. Now, perhaps the reason why we're having this hearing is because our chairwoman, Ms. Greene, has actually said some really negative things about getting vaccinations. And that perhaps is why we are here. And so we support Big Bird being pro-vaccine and promoting vaccines across this country. Now, I will admit, though, the extreme liberal agenda that you're all pushing, I think, doesn't stop there. This, of course, is Bert and Ernie. Now, these two guys actually live together. They're friends. They're supportive of each other. Now, that might be triggering to our chairwoman and some on this committee, and perhaps that's also why we're here today. Ms. Kerger, an important question. Are Bert and Ernie part of an extreme homosexual agenda?
No.
Thank you, Ms. Kerger, and thank you for being a good sport. Now, I'm obviously using some humor here, but the fact that we're sitting here today talking about defunding public television is actually not funny. At a time where we can't agree on basic facts, and while the free press is under attack, we need public media like PBS and NPR more than ever. A large majority of Americans say they trust PBS. And that's exactly why extremists are trying to tear it down. Public broadcasting is a tool for education, for emergencies, and a cherished part of our national fabric. We get huge benefits from a tiny federal investment. The majority and our chairwoman should drop this attempt to silence media voices they don't like. So the message, I think, today is very, very simple. If we're going to get rid of any puppeteers, we should get rid of the one that's actually controlling Donald Trump. Fire Elon Musk and save Elmo. And with that, I yield back.
So, as always, here's where I'll pass the questions off to you. What do you think about all of this, about Garcia's attack and mockery of Marjorie Taylor Greene, as well as her plans and Doge's plans to gut these crucial media companies, NPR and PBS? I mean, I grew up on them. My parents grew up on them. They're public services. And in addition to that, while watching this is great and it's very funny, and it clips like these, like Garcia's, are able to go viral on social media, right? And we're able to talk about them here on Really American. And that brings awareness, which I think is a good thing. But is this enough in the long term to stop these demagogic, anti-free speech, insane radical right morons from dismantling our news, our press, and flooding all of that with disinformation? What do you think? And if that is something that is important to you, which I hope it very much is, then you may very well want to consider checking out the sponsor of this video, Ground News, a website and app developed by a former NASA engineer on a mission to give readers an easy, data-driven, objective way to read the news. Every story comes with a quick visual breakdown of the political bias, factuality, and ownership of the source's reporting, all backed by ratings from 3 independent news monitoring organizations. And I've specifically found immense usefulness and often a little bit of humor out of the Ground News blind spot feature that highlights stories that are disproportionately covered by one side of the political spectrum. And this is so important so we don't live in an echo chamber and get misled by subtle and sometimes not so subtle language in the news. So try out Ground News today by clicking the link on screen in the description or by scanning that QR code on the screen. And if you sign up through our link, you'll get 40% off the Vantage plan, which is what we at Really American use to get unlimited access to all features. By doing so, not only are you supporting the channel and Ground News' work, but also arming yourself with knowledge and information that is utterly crucial in today's news media landscape. And that is more important than ever, given what we just saw we are fighting here. Thank you for watching, folks. Be sure to like and subscribe to Really American if you enjoyed the video and want to continue to support the work we do here, dismantling the far-right radical Republican agenda. And for Really American, I'm Kenny Hesse. I'll see you all in the next one.